in a long time, so you're just gonna have to bear with me on it. And I kind of pretend I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, who in here has had an open house recently? Like recently, like in the last 2 weeks? How many people did you get through? Two.
Two?
Two groups or two people?
Oh, couple, two groups.
Okay, two groups. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're dealing with. Depends on the price point. Were they brand new listings?
Yeah.
Brand new.
Mine was.
Like it just hit the market.
Yeah, the day before.
The day before, and you had an open
Yeah.
house the next day.
Yeah.
What day did it hit the market? Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
So I did. I wanted to try it Friday. See how it went. Catch
Okay.
People on their way home. I guess people don't really go to work anymore. That's kind
Right.
of silly, but
Okay, so I have a ton of open houses. It's kind of like my, I guess, it used to be like my livelihood to the business and getting my business. I started in an area that I didn't grow up in, this area, so I knew nobody. I didn't have a sphere. I didn't have friends and family. I literally had to start from nowhere. It's like if you guys all just moved to Tucson and had to start your real estate business. That was me.
Okay, so
Where's the mouse?
she is going to
Who?
me, Jerry, is going to use the laptop. Unless you're gonna stay in frame, but if you want to be able to move around and
I can stay here.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
Otherwise I can follow you with it.
Oh God, no.
Or you can use the whiteboard at all, because I know you draw out how you connect the dots with clients and
No. I'll stay in the frame. Where's the frame? Where's the camera?
where you're at.
Oh, it's right here. Oh my God. Oh, okay.
Where's the camera? Yeah.
I just want to get into here. Okay, Lindsay Olson, Slacker. She should have been here.
She's in the room next door, yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you want to be able to share your screen so that the people on Zoom can see this, I can show you how to do that.
Otherwise, I can just step aside and they can see
Yeah.
it.
Sort
I'll
of.
just do this kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, awesome.
Is that working?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just start from the very beginning and open house prep. So you had an open house hit, you had an open house the next day.
Yeah.
So I typically don't like to do them that fast, right? Because I want to get it on the MLS as soon as possible. So what did you do to prepare for that open house, to get the message out to people? Was it your listing or was it someone else's?
someone on my team.
Okay.
Mhm.
So okay, that's fine. So has anyone ever done any circle prospecting for open houses? Does anybody know?
Call the name, does that mean call the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it for the last one, but I tried to do it. Yeah.
And how was your turnout for it? It was hard.
You mean for the one I just did?
Your circle prospecting, did it work?
Sometimes it works.
It's really
I can't
hard.
tell if it's the circle prospecting that works or if it's the house.
Right. So circle prospecting, there's these programs. What programs did you use to pull numbers?
Our team thing sent the list to me, so I don't know how they pull it.
Okay, Lisa, who do you use to circle prospect, pull numbers for around a address?
Like Core Realty, what's the other one? There's a couple of them.
There's a bunch. So you can
Yeah.
pull addresses or you can pull
Voice.
land voice. Yeah, that's what I used to use. So you can pull a circumference around the house. You can pull all the phone numbers and you can call them basically saying, hi, what's your name? Courtney. Hi, I'm Courtney from Keller Williams. We just listed your neighbor's house. I just wanted to call to let you know that we're having an open house tomorrow. It's priced really well. It's a beautiful home. It's going to go really fast. I just wanted to let you know that we just listed your neighbor's house. Do you know of anybody that wants to move into your neighborhood? Do you know anybody that you want to live by? It's priced really well. Come and then invite them to come through. So I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore because I just do other things. So that's a really good option if you need to get your contacts boosted. I don't know if you guys have contacts goals. Everyone has different goals, but I have a goal of, I think, 144 contacts a week, 144 2As a week. So that's my goal. Doesn't mean I hit it, but that's my goal. So if you're not hitting your goal, you can do that. Pull addresses, invite people. You can door knock. People are weird with COVID right now. I don't door knock. I'm a good face-to-face person. I feel like I'm able to connect with people in person. So door knocking did work really well for me back when I did it. It's hard when we're having like an Arctic freeze and we're gonna have, oh, I forget.
You're okay.
Okay. It's hard when we have like an Arctic freeze, right? The high for Sunday is -6. Did you see that? So that's not really the best door knocking weather. But I have door knocked in the winter before and it's worked. So you can door knock to let people know that you just listed the house. I have gotten listings in the past from that. And you ask them if they want to move or if they know of anybody that wants to buy. Has anyone ever door knocked for an open house? Did it work?
I'm going tonight, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, dress warm. People might invite you in for coffee or something, but oh, this is the only whiteboard. Okay. So door knocking is really important when you do it. And when you do it, have a handout with you, like an MLS printout or the information, because people are going to ask you, hey, I just listed a house 3 blocks down. They're going to be like, well, what's the price? What's the square footage? Or what year was that one built? And you don't want to look stupid, right? Because you're going to look stupid if you can't answer the most basic questions. So have the MLS printout with you, memorize the basic stats, right? You don't have to like know the age of the furnace, but you know, stuff like that. You need to know the basic, like the dirty deets of the house, bedrooms, bathrooms, year build, things like that. So one time we listed a house in a cul-de-sac, and what I did was, here was the house, and there was, you know, whatever many houses, and this was years ago, but this is probably like one of my best stories about door knocking. We listed this house, I think it was for like 600, and I door knocked the neighborhood. The house directly across the street, the last name was Koch, K-O-C-H, like the trucking company. But I door knocked the neighborhood. A realtor lived over here, and she said, oh, you're having an open house? I don't have open houses because they don't work for me. I'm like, well, that's because you don't work. You're lazy. So anyways, it was kind of funny. So I door knocked the neighborhood. There was maybe only like 15 in this exact cul-de-sac. And the people across the street, I said, hey, we just listed your neighbor's house. We're having an open house this weekend. And she was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I said, you know, have you thought about moving anytime? And she said, yeah, maybe we're thinking about it. And I was like, sweet. So I know the house across the street. We had this open house. I sold it to somebody who came into the open. So a couple relo came in and I sold it to them. It was awesome. And then what I did was, after the open house, you know, I emailed them. I sent them a card and I said, hey, I had like 30 people through. It was great. And then once it closed, I said, hey, the whatever family just bought this, and it was awesome. And then she called me like 2 months later. She's like, we loved your interaction. So then I ended up listing this house, double bagged it at an open house, and sold them something in Minnesota. So it was like a huge chain reaction, and it was like $2 million from door knocking for like an hour. Like it was the easiest thing, you know, and they appreciated my card follow-up and stuff like that. So door knocking works if you do it. Dress nice, dress warm, be knowledgeable about what you're door knocking. So follow up with them if they even have a little bit of interest. And actually, once this transaction closed, I sent a handwritten card to everybody in the cul-de-sac, letting them know, Bruce and Mary Johnson just closed on this house. Feel free to stop by. They're your new neighbors. You know, whatever. Didn't get me any business, but whatever. I did it anyways, because you never know. So online advertising. So you had it a day after. You know, you want to put it in the MLS as soon as possible. So it's kind of hard, you know, stuff sells fast. So I'm trying to list my stuff towards the end of the week because I want to have the opportunity to have the open. I don't want it to sell on Tuesday and blow out the option of not having the open. I've been starting to have weekday opens. Mia works on my team, so she's just here for moral support. But we've been, you know, listing stuff on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and then I just have it a day or two later during the week because it doesn't matter. If they're going to come and see it, they're going to come and see it. But you want to get it in the MLS ahead of time because that's when it syndicates out to Zillow, things like that. So make sure whoever you're having the open house for schedules it and schedules it ahead of time. If you're going to hit up Mary Yakub is an agent. If you're having a listing, she has a listing and you're going to have an open house, make sure she puts it in the thing right away because I've had open houses in the past where I was doing it for a different realtor and I checked like the day before and it still wasn't even put into the MLS. And I'm like, I'm spending my time right away from my family and friends to have your freaking open house. And you can't even take the 2 seconds to put it in. So make sure they do it right away because that's important. That's where people are going to come from that are actually serious. They're going to see it online. So this is all prep, you guys. This is all the stuff beforehand. So signage. How many signs did you put out when you had 2 groups?
4.
Not enough. What neighborhood was it in? Was it in Hudson?
No, it was in Hammond.
Wonderful Hammond. Okay, so
Sounds like there's only like one road. Oh, never.
yeah, I love Hammond. Okay, so Hammond 4 might have been enough because it depends if you've got like a major road or
Off 12, and then it was like a brand new like cul-de-sac, so there's only one like way.
main entrance or whatever. Okay, yeah. So sometimes you can't really get a lot of signs, and if you're having to drive like 3 miles away to set up signs because you're in Hammond, maybe not worth it. But like if you're in a zoo of a neighborhood like Heritage Greens, if you guys know that neighborhood up here, I always joke that Helen Keller designed that neighborhood because it's like impossible to navigate. So you sometimes I still get lost sometimes in some of these Hudson neighborhoods, and I've lived here for a long time. So you want to get signs off of the major roads, right? 4 is probably not enough. I used to do 10 at every open house, or until my trunk couldn't fit anymore and I scratched the hell out of my vehicles. All my vehicles have severe scratches in the trunks and on the trunk doors because they've been crammed with as many metal signs as physically possible. But you want to have as many as you can. Hit big intersections, things like that. It's a simple thing, right? Especially if you're new in the business and you need to get people in your system. I'm to the point where I don't want to do that anymore. So I sometimes will just put 1. If I know it's going to be really busy, and let's say it's a townhome, it's an end unit, I want to be able to turn these leads. I want to figure out who's a lead, right? So if I put out 30 signs, this just happened, Cottage Grove listing in the cul-de-sac. They bought in Afton, whatever. He was like, aren't you going to put out more? He was like, aren't you going to put out more signs? And I was like, no. It's like, if you want, I can pepper all of Cottage Grove with 30 signs and deal with all of these like women out on their girls' dates and the bored teenagers that want to come in and, and then I have to spend extra time and efforts trying to decipher who's serious. So if it's a house, like if it's a townhome and I know it's going to be busy because I already did the things that I needed to do, it's in the MLS 5 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever the case is, I don't want to have to decipher between 30 people who's serious. So if I put 1 sign out, I know everybody who's coming to my open house is coming because they saw it online. So I already did that work. I don't even have to filter them down because it's just in the driveway. Like there's no passerby coming in. I'm at a point in my business where I don't want to build a bunch of prospects, right? There's a difference between a lead and a prospect. So a lead is somebody who have their phone number, their email, their address, their names, everything like that. A prospect is somebody that's just, you're putting it in your database and you're going to basically beat them to death till they buy a house, right? Or die. So I don't want that anymore in my business because I just don't. Sometimes I still will put out like 10 signs if it's needed, or if I'm nervous, it's maybe a higher price point and I want to get passerbys that might be interested. But if it's like an end unit townhome, I'm putting 1 sign out. Not saying you should. That's what I do because I don't want to be bringing in all these people, And then I know that I'm only dealing with people that saw this online. They're serious buyers that most likely don't have an agent because they waited till the open house, whatever. So I'll get off on that. Signs, plan it out, know where you're going, know how many signs you should need, or just pack your trunk till you can't fit anymore and set them out. Even if you have to put 2 next to each other, like you put out 4, you said 1 was off of a main drag, put out like 2 of them right next to each other to make it extra obnoxious, right? Like some people get those like things, those tall things, like the wacky arm flailing people or whatever, those stupid things. So just be obnoxious and then you can drive traffic in and then you can, get contacts that way. If anything, it's a way for you to get your contacts out. So I push my open houses through. You had one for somebody on your team, right? So how do you give them feedback after your showing? After your open house, how do you give feedback to that agent or to the sellers?
Oh, we have we're trying these new sheets.
Yeah.
Where we kind of made like a, what do you call it, like a survey? Would you call it almost?
Yeah, like you mean like this type of feedback thing?
Yeah.
But then do you give
Different
these,
format.
right, but then do you give those sheets to the sellers or to the other agent? How do you relay to the listing agent what the traffic was like?
Well, I just tell her, but then I'll take the contacts
Mhm.
of there, and then I'll either just give her those sheets because I don't trust her.
Right.
And just give her those, and then I'll just tell her.
Okay, one thing that I used to do all the time, and I wish we still did this, is I push it through showing time. So my open house this weekend, I'm having one from 10 to noon. And our team just decided against this, which I wish we did it because it's really nice. But if you're having an open house for Mary Yakub from 10 to noon, push it through showing time as an agent preview from 10 to noon. That way you get the lockbox code, the seller approves it, so you know the seller knows you're having an open and you can put in the notes, this is for my open house. You get the lockbox code so you're not fumbling on the front door trying to find your email or text from 5 days ago when Mary gave it to you. You have it on your showing time app. And then when you're done, you get prompted to give feedback, just like you would a showing. And it goes straight to the agent, it goes straight to the seller. Maybe listing agents don't want that. I used to do it all the time and I thought it was great. And if I had an agent, doing it, I'd want that. And then you have the code, you're prompted to give feedback afterwards, things like that. So that's really nice to do. Sign riders, do people do sign riders anymore? Where you hang it like this, with the little, like Sunday from 4 to 7. Do you guys do those? Yeah. I don't do them anymore. I think I just lost all of them or something. I don't know, but you should do them, because then you're going to get the passerby, especially if it's a brand new listing, because people go creep on the house, right? So they see it hit Zillow, they see it hit MLS as a coming soon. Honey, we need to go drive by this house. Let's go creep on it. So then they're driving by. And if they see that you're going to be there from Saturday from 12 to 2, then they're going to be like, hey, awesome. We're going to come back Saturday 12 to 2, even though damn thing's probably going to sell by then. But whatever, put it there. And that's going to get those people that are coming early to drive past it and creep on the neighborhood and stuff like that. They're going to be like, okay, 12 to 2, we're coming back. So if you have a sign rider, do it. If it's, a close enough drive to hang it, within reason, do those. Again, brush up on the knowledge of the house. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to look stupid when people come into your open. I always print MLS printouts. Don't assume the listing agent's going to have handouts there. Some agents don't do anything for their listings and they don't have anything there. And, we have either brochures or basic printouts for agents to grab when they're showing it, because we want to make it as easy as possible for other agents to sell our listings, right? But just don't bank on the other agent having something for you to go off of. So print 10, 20, whatever MLS printouts for you to have with you. Schedule it during peak times. Anything's a peak time nowadays. If it's a house that's priced right and in good condition, you're going to have good traffic. Don't be stupid with it. But 10 to noon, I used to do 10 to noon all the time, and then I would do 1 to 3. And then I realized I hate doing 2 in a day. It sucks. So I split it up. I'm just kind of a loser. So I'd rather have it on Saturday and on Sunday and just get it done and over with. So I was starting to do 1 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday because I was really starting to get kind of, by that 4th hour, really the 5th hour, because there's that break, I'd be really just drained and I didn't want to do it anymore, especially if you're not getting traffic or something like that. So, time it however you want to do. Weekends, weekdays, we talk about it all the time. What's the best time? It's dark out still. I don't know, 5 to 7. It's kind of what I've been doing, right? For my weekdays, maybe 6 to 8. It's getting late, So 5 to 7, if I do a weekday one, is probably what I do. And then weekends, it's up to you. You can work around football schedules, church schedules, whatever the case is. But odds are, if somebody wants to see the house, they're going to skip the football game to come and see it.
So did you find better success on Saturdays or Sundays? Or was it just depending on the property?
Probably Saturdays.
By Saturdays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because church and football and whatever. Yeah, Saturdays is fresher on their mind. People get lazy when Sunday rolls around, So some people do Facebook events. I don't, because I think Facebook gets annoying and some people really just beat it down your throat. So if I get invited to like a page, I don't even like it anymore. I'm just like, I don't care. We all as realtors get a friend request from somebody random and then we accept it. And then 2 seconds later, we get an invite to like their business page and we get an invite to this, to that. And I'm just like, no, I don't even do that anymore. So you can do a Facebook event if you want, but just post it on Facebook. That's enough. You're not really going to get people to come with your Facebook event. I don't think. I'd never had success with it, so I stopped doing it. And I think we just get beat to death with Facebook things nowadays. So do a nice post. Open house coming soon. I just did one this morning. You can follow me on Facebook if you want to see what I do. It's very basic. It just says new listing, reach out for a private showing or come visit my open house on Saturday from 10 to noon. And then it's got the link with the house and everything like that. So that's good enough. You're going to get good enough reach with that. If you're not sure how many people see your stuff, put something on your story because you can see actually how many people saw it. You'll be shocked. It's like hundreds and hundreds of people. I have like 200 friends on Facebook. I think 33 maybe. I don't even know. But when I post something on my story, I get like 400 people that see it. It's people do see that. And, you know, there's these algorithms on Facebook now where you really don't see all your friends' posts, or I don't know how it works. It's the weirdest thing. But if you put it on your story, you at least know people are seeing it. So, but you only have like 10 seconds or something. So that's all the prep. Okay, you want to get the word out. You want to make sure it's in the MLS is the most important thing. I one time went to an open house that somebody forgot to put in the schedule. So I had to sit there for 2 hours and nobody showed up. Yeah.
When was that?
It was like a year ago. Yeah, so I
remember.
right, yeah, I had to sit there for 2 hours and I was like, because the sellers were expecting me to have an open house, so I was like, it's fine. Give me 2 hours to lead generate. So anyway, so that's all the prep. That's really important. The day of, it should be the simplest thing ever. So again, brush up on the knowledge of the house. You're gonna have MLS printouts. Let me just pull a listing. I always print the 1 page. I don't know, let's look. You seeing this? Okay. Let's hope with your new office, you guys can get some laptops that are newer than 20 years old. Just kidding.
Do you want to do the one look up the one you're doing on Saturday?
Yeah, what's the house number?
6190.
6190 in Cottage Grove. I believe it's like
Ideal.
4 something.
It's right there.
Okay, I'm having this one this weekend. Okay, so how does this work? Okay, perfect. So if this is, again, not my listing, I go in here and I just print off. So I go first under supplements and I see what the agent put under there. Some agents don't put anything. What I have here is the GIS. I have the map, the lot lines is important to have because people are going to be like, well, where are the lot lines, right? And if you're in like Heritage Greens, not really relevant. It's pretty obvious, but it's important to have that. You only need to print 1. Don't let anybody take it. Just tell them they can take a picture of it if they want. You don't have to spend $30 printing stuff for your open house. But we do this for all of our listings. Again, we want to make it as easy as possible. So it's good to have the lot lines here, right? Especially if there's trees, people want to know. This one, again, probably not the most relevant one to have, but it's nice to have. When you get out into Hammond, you might have some different lot lines and things like that. So, oh man, this is hard to
Where do you
use.
find that, Dylan?
So if you don't have the lot lines under additional supplements, you can go to the county website if you want. It's basically, it's not a legal lot line, right? So look here. You got this have you guys ever clicked on this map? I do it all the time and I creep on everybody and I creep on their taxes. So click on the map. Is this dial up? Okay, so look here, we got the lot lines right here for every house. Sometimes they're not quite accurate and they're not like legal, but it's good enough to give people a general idea. So what you can do is you can print this picture. The one we have is a really close picture, right? Some people might be like, well, what's this? Well, clearly it's a walking trail. So this is a good enough picture to show them what the lot lines are. It's kind of nice, right? Then you at least have that knowledge of what the lot lines are. So print that off. You don't have to print the tax records, but print everything under additional supplements. The disclosures, I would print 1 copy of the disclosures, the floor plans. We do these feature sheets here for our listings, which is really nice. Again, a lot of agents, most agents don't do this. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. We don't want agents calling us on Friday evening asking what the average utilities are on a 1,200 square foot house, right? Because if that's gonna make or break you, you shouldn't buy it. But anyways, we get those weird questions all the time. And so we have, does this work? Yeah. We have this and it's got school districts, which can be important, right? Here it's obvious, we're in the Hudson School District. You go to Woodbury, there's like 12, there's imaginary lines everywhere. So you wanna know, especially like in Woodbury, there's a lot of different elementary zones and literally that makes and breaks some people's home searches. Some people will move because the boundaries changed because they're that into sports or they think their kids can be the next Michael Jordan for some reason. So anyways, it's good to have these out just to your knowledge if you can get them. We have extra features and then the average utilities right here. So again, that's not something you guys are going to be able to get on most of your stuff unless the agent puts it under there. But it just goes back to having the knowledge of the house. So anyways, let me go back to the house. Okay, so what I do is, you can see here, Mia did it, right? She has it scheduled for this weekend. So that's when you know that your agent that you're having it for has it scheduled correctly. And when I want to print something, no, the top, right? Oh, you're right. I think you have to check it first, don't you? Okay, so print.
No, you don't.
Okay, so print right here. It gives you, it's gonna prompt you with like all these options. It's gonna prompt you with all these options to print. Am I not aiming it?
No, your screen sharing stopped,
Oh,
which is fine. I can fix that.
oh, so they can see what I'm doing here.
Yep.
So I don't have to turn it towards anywhere.
Nope. There. Should be good.
Okay.
Angle back at you.
Is Mary Coop here?
Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I'm
Ugh.
sure she's in the office.
She could probably teach
She
me a
might
few
be.
things. That's okay. Anyways, so here is where you're gonna get prompted to print whatever you want to print. So when I do my CMAs, I print this multi-photo flyer for houses when I'm pulling comps. Okay, so what I do is I print customer full right here. Right? And whoops, customer full. And what's nice about that is this is just so hard to use. What's going on? It doesn't work. So when you go to print it, it's going to have your information, not the listing agent's. So it's going to work. Because this is what I'm going to hand out at the open house, right? So if I'm having an open house for Mary Yakub, I'm the one doing the work. I want them, the handouts, I want to have my information. I want them to call me, right? Not the listing agent or something. So you want to print customer full. It's going to have your information someday. It's going to have your information. I just created this header on the MLS. Did you guys know you can do that? You get to pick like a picture with it and stuff. I think mine's a golf course, which is the weirdest thing because I'm not even a golfer, but now when I print stuff, it prints it with there. Okay, here we go. Here it is. So it's got my header here. I created that. I got to change that picture. That's old. But it's got my contact information up top. It's got the house. You don't need a handout at the open house with all the pictures. They're there. They see it in person. Who cares, right? They already saw the pictures online and they can always get them again. You want to have the information that they need, right? Square footage, year built, taxes, things like that. I hate going to these open houses and agents have a multi-photo printed off with no information about the house, but it's a sheet with 6 photos of the house that I'm standing in. Like, oh, handy, right? So it's nice to have this. You need this. It's good information to print out, okay? And when you're there, print the full one for yourself so you have the agent remarks. We all know the difference between public and agent, right? Sometimes they're the same. The agent just copies it. Sometimes there's extra information. Workbench in the garage stays. Swing set stays. Hot tub's negotiable, whatever. So I always print the full one so I have the agent remarks with me at the open house because I want to know, association fee, things like that. So that's the print off.
How many do you print off?
Depends. If it's like an end unit townhome, I'll maybe print 20. What's nice is when I'm done with my open house, I'll leave them there. Because unless we have like a brochure already there or Mia is really on top of things, she'll even print something out like this and she'll staple all those things under additional supplements together and they're just at the house before I even get there. Sometimes if it's a quick listing, we don't have that opportunity. So I'll just print a bunch of these and I'll just leave the stack, whatever's left.
When you print that stuff off, like the customer full, do you print it on back sides or do you do 2 separate sheets and how it's 2 pages there?
Doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't pay for my printing. Someone else does, so I don't care. Full color, baby. Hopefully Wade's not watching. So yeah, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it's got all the good information. Signs out early, get there early. I hate it when people are waiting for me at the open house. Some people are going to show up 10, 15 minutes early regardless because they're just that freaking excited about the house, right? And you're like, are you kidding me? So, but get there early, get your signs out early. I've shown up at open houses like when it starts and I'm like sweating because I've been chucking these 50-pound metal signs all over and I'm like distressed and sweating and out of breath. And I'm like, welcome, come on in, you know, like I just look horrible and it's the worst. So get there early, get your signs out. It's worth it, right? Because odds are like the first half hour is probably the most important of the 2-hour time window, right? Because the people who want to see it and are really freaking excited, they're going to show up right away. So that first half hour, you want to be at your best, right? It's the last half hour that, you know, you can get a little lax maybe. But anyways, so get your signs out early, you know where your signs are going to go. I always used to say dress for the price point. So if it's like $1 million house, you want to dress nice. If it's a really cheap townhome, you know, maybe I would just wear like my zip up with my logo on it because odds are it's going to be a millennial coming in that's going to buy it and they can't talk to anybody and you don't want to look intimidating. So I would dress down a little bit. I probably wouldn't wear this outfit to honestly like a $225,000 townhome. I just wouldn't because odds are whoever's going to buy it is going to be a millennial. They suck at communicating. They want to just text or something. Sext, who knows? But, you know, I mean, but seriously, like, you know, if you look intimidating, these people don't know how to communicate nowadays. So it's like if I'm like, you know, if I look intimidating or something, they might just not open up to me as much or I might not be able to get their information. You know, be ready, start on time, park on the street or in the driveway, whatever. It's going to look busy regardless. I used to say park on the street. It looks like somebody's visiting or park in the driveway, whatever. They want to come in and there's an open house sign, they're going to come in. Tell friends to stop by if you're nervous that you're not going to get a good turnout. Tell your friends to bring you a coffee. Tell your friends to come and check out this cool house. Even if it's not cool, you know, just tell them to come and see this house. If I have a house, you know, in River Falls or Hudson or Woodbury, I'll typically text. And if it's a house that maybe is a brand new listing and I'm nervous, I'm not going to have good traffic, I'll text friends to stop in because then there's cars that are stopping in and then the neighbors think that I did a good job and they think that I'm marketing the open house and stuff like that. Little did they know my friends are just bringing me Dunn Brothers, whatever. But, you know, you can tell your friends to stop by, get them in the house. It's a two-way, right? So what to have on you? I used to have an open house tote, like a Rubbermaid plastic tote. It just got in the way and I hated it, so I got rid of it. Now I have a second backpack. I have 2 black backpacks. One, my open house backpack. It has everything I need, and I'm able to set this all up in 2 minutes, and it makes me look so prepared. And I go to so many open houses where agents are like, and they have nothing. I've gone to open houses before where agents didn't even know I was a realtor right away, and they don't even get off of the couch. And I'm like, awesome, you make me look great. So I have my open house backpack. Inside I have a candle because I want it to be cozy. I always turn the fireplace on right away. I light a candle. I have my own Bose speaker. They're like, I don't know, $200 or something. I used to grab the one from my house and whatever. Now I just bought one for the bag and it's got a cord and everything. So I always have music playing, not like Cardi B singing about her WAP, right? It's like blues music or something. So hand sanitizer because we're in that time. I don't do masks. I don't do bottles of water. I don't do snacks. I don't do coffee. I don't do anything because I'm not here to feed them, right? And I'm not going to deal with somebody's allergy or somebody spilling a coffee, whatever. So, and then I have marketing from our old listings. Sometimes I might have comps pulled up and printed out. I typically have our brochures from our old listings, even if they sold 6 months ago, I lay them out because people are always like, oh, this looks cool or this looks nice. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do for our listings. You know, I'm trying to promote business because it's not always a buyer. Sometimes it's a neighbor that also wants to list and they want to know that you work hard. Well, they think I worked hard setting up the island, the kitchen island, and they've got music playing and they're like, wow, this guy got all this done. It took me 2 seconds, right? It was already done. I didn't have to do anything. So I have a sign-in sheet. It's super basic. It's very quick and easy. It's not asking, oh God, these are like, I spilled something on these. But they're short, sweet, and to the point. I don't want a sign-in sheet that asks, how do you think it's priced? What is the staging like? is the home nicely updated, right? I know if I'm sitting in an overpriced turd already, I don't need the neighbor from 5 doors down giving me their 2 cents because they watched TLC or something. Like, I don't care, right? So I want the basics. Is this your first visit? Are you working with an agent? Are you pre-qualified? Lender, home to sell? That's it. And their name. Some agents have like a whole sheet and they have like clipboards and here, fill this out while you walk through the house. It's like, do you really want to distract them? Like Ross Gregerson used to do that. That was his thing. And he had like 5 clipboards with these 1-page sign-ins and everybody had a pen and fill this out as you walk through the house. So it's like, do you want them to actually take in the house? Or do you want them to feel like they're filling out a survey while they're in? It's the weirdest thing. So short and to the point, honestly, I don't have people sign in even. I put it out though, because sometimes I have somebody sign in. Huh?
Did you used to?
Well, I'm gonna get to that, what I do now instead. But yeah, I used to. Yeah, I've even tried, like, people do like iPads, the electronic versions. They're not nice, they're not easier, they suck. You can try it if you want, never worked for me. So I have this, and I have this sign. It says, it actually says Keller Williams under here. I just cut a folder and put Remax in because I'm now with a different brokerage, but it says, welcome, please sign in on our seller requested registry. Puts it off on the sellers, right? It doesn't make them think that I'm trying to, did it stop again? Okay. So please sign in on our seller requested registry. I've had this framed thing.
Thank you.
I've had this framed thing, seller requested registry, for years. I mean, it even has my old brokerage from 5 years ago under there. So again, it's in my bag and it's nice. People think that it's not me, it's the sellers that just want to know. But literally, I just want their information. So have your laptop, have a laptop charger. I have a backup cell phone charger in my bag at all times. Contact of the listing agent too. So sometimes if I'm door knocking and it's not my listing and the sellers are home, I'll knock on the seller's door and say, hi, you don't know me, but I'm having your open house this weekend. Nice to meet you. I'll be here 10 minutes early. If you want to have all the lights on for me, that's great. You can introduce yourself. And then, you know who they are, but then also have the listing agent's number handy, because if somebody asks you some weird question, you can be like, well, let me check quick. You can ask the agent, you can shoot him a text. I remember I used to have a lot of open houses for Chris Jensen. You guys know Chris Jensen? She's a Hudson agent.
Keller Woodbury.
Yeah, right. But she lives in Hudson. Yeah. So I used to have a lot of her opens, and it was so nice because I had my phone on me and somebody would ask me something weird. Workbench stay. What's up with the workbench? She says it stays. You can give them the answer right away. So that's nice. Have the contact information for the listing agent. We already went through this. Business cards. I have business cards in here. So I set out business cards. The sign-in sheet is short and sweet. Don't make it long. You can do the electronic version. I don't do water bottles. MLS printouts, we talked about that. Any marketing information. I kind of got ahead of myself here. I covered all this. Yeah, you can have your other listings, have the lot lines, things like that. Have a binder, average utilities. You really want to be knowledgeable. I have had open houses before where I didn't even walk through the house. And I get there and I set my shit up and people start coming in and I never even went in the basement. And I'm like, I don't even know. There could be a sauna down there that I don't even know about. It's not even my listing, right? It happens. So I've had some open houses where I get there and people are in a line and I don't even put a single sign out. And it ends up being a super busy open house with 0 open house signs. I wouldn't recommend that, but that's just how crazy it can get. But you want to walk through the house. You want to be knowledgeable because, I've literally had people be like, well, what's this door? And I'm like, I don't even know, right? You want to walk through the house. You want to be familiar with it, especially if you're not the listing agent. You probably know nothing about the house. But people are going to ask you things like, what's the age of the roof? So read the disclosures. It's really important to know, especially if they're neighbors. They're going to be like, well, did their house flood in 09 like ours or something weird like that? Have the age of the roof, have the lot lines, and know the HOA, because HOAs cover a lot of random different things. Sometimes they cover, or people say, Woodbury's tough because there's dancing waters and Stone Mill Farms and there's pools and parks and there's just crap everywhere. So it's I don't know, you want to know what's covered by that HOA. Heritage Greens has an HOA. Anybody know what you get with that? Heritage Greens in Hudson?
The parks.
Yeah, 2 crappy parks on a soccer field. That's it. So not much. But you go to Red Cedar Canyon, they've got a ton. They've got all these awesome trails. They've got tennis courts, volleyball courts, baseball fields, soccer fields, it's awesome. Best bang for your buck as far as HOAs go in Hudson. And then you get over to the townhomes, people are always asking like, does it cover the roof? Does it cover the siding? Does it cover the windows? Odds are it doesn't cover the windows, but you know, you want to know what it covers because it just, if you don't look like you know what you're talking about, you lost all credibility right there, right? It's out the window. So odds are they've gone to 3 other open houses already today. So you want to be that one agent that stands out. You want to be approachable. You want to be happy. You want to be excited that they're there and act like you want to be there, you know, even if you don't want to be. So lenders, some people like to pair up with lenders. Has anyone ever tried that before? Had a lender come to the open house? Have you done that?
Yeah.
How's it work?
And I've had luck with it a couple of times.
Yeah, it bugs me because I feel like they get in my way, but I know some agents really pair up with lenders and the lender goes too. I just don't like it because I feel like it's awkward. If I want to like corner somebody and really like get to know their whole search, like and the lender's like standing in the back, like, you know, like drinking their Monster or something, like it's just weird. So you can have a lender come if you want. Sometimes the lenders want to go in on the marketing with you, whatever. I don't do that. You can if you want. Lenders will print, especially this lender over here. Yeah, and they'll print you like a sheet for the house and it'll tell people what their payments are, right? I don't know what that's called. Yep. Kathy Peterson used to do it for me all the time downstairs. You guys know Kathy. So they'll print like a 1-page lender sheet and it's like, here's what you're, and it's got the picture of the house. It's got your information on there. It's got their information and it breaks down conventional loan. Here's what your payments are going to be for that exact house. Yeah, it's super nice. So you can have the lender do that if you want. Then you have some type of a financing information, but it's up to you if you want the lender to be there. I don't. Music, again, I play music. I put that little speaker somewhere in the entertainment center or behind the TV. Sometimes the sellers have music playing for you. So whatever.
It's important to have music.
I think it's important to have music because otherwise it's awkward and it's really quiet. And then you can hear like Mr. and Mrs. like, you know, like instead have music playing. And then once they go upstairs, you can go run over the stairwell and turn it down. You know, but yeah, it's really important because it's just awkward. So it's good to have the music going. It makes things less awkward. You know, I don't know, have a protein bar, have a box of Kleenex or toilet paper in case it's like a vacant house, you know, I don't know. Your goal is to have one appointment, right, from that open house, because I really got too comfortable with my opens about 1.5 years ago, and I was just doing them to do them. And I felt like that was me working, having an open house. Like, that's all I need to do. And I kind of got away from like actually working with like intent. Like I was just going and doing it, setting the signs up, hanging out, drinking my Red Bull, playing music and just saying hi and being nice to people. But I wasn't like being assertive and I wasn't being aggressive enough to really, like I forget, like, oh my God, I'm spending my time on the weekend doing this. Like this is part of my lead generation, but you can't just count it as lead gen because you're at someone's freaking house enjoying their fireplace. You have to actually be doing something. So I really had like just like, and I got away from the open house tote and I was like, I got to get back to having my backpack because that just like gets you in the right mindset of having all your stuff, set up. And so you really want to have like the intent of, I'm going to get an appointment, right? It's good to have 2 groups that are really good come through your open than 30 groups, right? Doesn't even matter. You just need 1 group to come through. That's all it really takes, right? To get your appointment or to get the contact information. So a lot of them are sellers and neighbors maybe interviewing you to see how good you're doing. So if you look like you got your shit together, they're going to think, hey, this is a great person that I'm going to hire because I showed this person that I was working hard, right? For this person, they're like, you're door knocking? Even some sellers are like, you door knock? I didn't even know that was a thing. Like you're telling our neighbors about it? That's so crazy. So these people saw that I was working hard and then they hired me because they liked that I was doing that. So like perfect example. And that was like a 400 and they bought a 600. That was like $1 million right here. Actually, I double bagged the 400. So that was 800,000 plus their 600,000. Plus I had sold this one. Like it was crazy. So you really are impressing the sellers a lot of times. So it's all about conversion and follow up. I'm very casual when they start to talk. So what I do is I'm going to minimize this. Oh, you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I have the MLS up and open all the time to this.
Cancel in the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, see this, mine looks different than this when I do it. Okay, so search, single family, general. Let's just say we're in Hudson, right? If you're looking at a house in Hudson, you're probably just looking at a house in Hudson. So what I do is I have this screen ready to go. And I start to talk to people casually, like, oh, like what brought you into my open house, or how'd you find out about the open? Or mainly my main icebreaker is, are you checking out a few open houses today? Because if they say yes, then it's like, got them on the hook, right? Like they're looking at houses on their weekend in -6-degree weather. They're serious buyers, right? Like if they're trudging through the snow and the negative weather to come look at a bunch of open houses, like they're pretty serious. And odds are they don't have a realtor, or if they do have a realtor, they're not doing a good job because they're sending their buyers to open houses. So what I do is I start to kind of talk to them, and you know, I want to show them value, right? That's what we have to do now, because statistically, there's more licensed realtors now than there ever has been, ever in history, right? And I scare people by telling them that. I'm like, that's fucking scary. You could get stuck using someone that doesn't know what they're doing, you know? So I kind of use that to my advantage, and you can too, because they don't know how long you've been licensed for, but I just say, like, you really need, it's really important to work with an agent that's knowledgeable and things like that. So I start to talk to them, and I ask, like, oh, are you looking, let's say I'm in Hudson, and I say, oh, are you guys looking in Hudson specifically? And they're like, yeah. So like while I'm talking to them, I'm like doing this, right? Hudson, or I'd probably do the Hudson School District, so I'd be down here. So as I'm talking to them casually, again, like they didn't even sign in yet at this point. Like sometimes people just go straight for the sign in because they think it's expected. Most of my people don't ever sign in. Sometimes I forget to put a pen out, whatever. But I also have pens in the backpack. So as I'm talking to them, I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are looking for something in Hudson? And they're like, yeah, okay. And I pull this up, and I pull up coming soon, active, TNAS, probably not going to pull anything that's pending or sold, right? And I go straight into, let's say I'm in a $300,000 house. I'll just maybe do 400 and less. Okay. And they're like, yeah, we're looking in Hudson. And then maybe they'll say, you know, and then, oh, did you come to this house because it has 4 bedrooms? Like, do you absolutely need 4 bedrooms? Every young couple thinks they need 4 bedrooms. They don't. They need like 2 and a loft. So, but whatever. So you can go maybe put in some bedroom criteria. And then I always check none right here. Do you guys know this?
Yeah.
None gets rid of the ones that have accepted offers. Okay, so brings it down to 13. And so I'm casually talking to them about Hudson. And again, I'm trying to show them value in me. So what I do is I pull this list up, and what I immediately go to is DOM. What does that stand for? Thanks, Lisa. So anyways, I go straight to DOM because I don't want to show them this turd that's been on the market for 156 days because they've seen it 100 times. Sorry if that's your listing. I should have priced it better. So anyways, DOM, I go straight to DOM because that's important. I want to pull up the newest stuff they haven't seen. Maybe they saw it this morning if they were on Zillow. But what I do is I go straight to 7th Street North. Okay, so let's say I'm at the open house for, that's 325. Let's say I'm at this one. I'm at 9th Street, 315. If you guys haven't toured that house, go. It's a treat. It's hilarious. 9th Street in Hudson. You'll love it. It's hilarious. So anyways, so what I would do is I'm talking to them casually, right? Like, oh, you want something in Hudson? You kind of are in this price point. I go straight to DOM. I want to show them the newest house that they haven't seen yet. Whoops, where'd it go? Oh, wrong way. Did I do the arrow? Okay. This is Jared Krenz.
Yep.
God bless Jared. Okay, so
Like his own house?
no.
Oh.
So I want to show them this house because they haven't seen it yet, right? I'm trying to show them value, right? There's more agents than ever before. You need to show them that you're better than them and that you have something in your back pocket that they don't know about, right? So I go straight to DOM and I want to show them the newest listing that popped up, and I'm like, oh my God, well, did you guys see this one? And like, if it's one that's at 0 DOM or 1, maybe they haven't seen it. And normally they're like, oh, and they're like, where the hell's that from? You know, and I'm like, well, like that's what I got, you know? So I start to show them like, oh, 325. Yeah, you haven't seen this house? And I make it seem like, oh, I can't believe you haven't seen this house yet. And I'm showing it to them. And I'm like, well, this one's got 5 bedrooms, you know, 2-car garage, things like that. Maybe flash the photos in front of them. Oh, that's in North Hudson. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen this one. I haven't looked. Yeah, I haven't looked at the MLS yet today. Odds are the people at your open house haven't either. So I'm showing them this and they're like, holy crap, 325, how come we haven't seen this house? And I'm like, well, let me tell you, you can't be looking at Zillow. You can't be looking at realtor.com. And I say, whenever a house hits the market, realtors put it on the MLS. And then from there, it syndicates out to Zillow, Realtor.com. Medina Realty has a pretty user-friendly site. And I just say, but it can take days for that stuff to happen. I say and then I say weekly, this isn't even true, used to be true, pretty true, but I say every week someone reaches out and they say, we found our dream home on Zillow, we want to go see it. And I tell them it's sold. Oh, that's sold. That hit the market 8 days ago. It sold in a day. Right? And the reason they missed out on it is because they don't have the MLS running for them. So what I do is I say, I'm talking to these people, like, this is really important. Like, this is what you need. You need this MLS to be sending you properties if you're on the hunt. I'm doing this all in my open house, you guys. Some of you might do this at your buyer's consult. I just did this at a buyer's consult last night because that was my first time meeting them. But I'm doing basically mini consult at the open house. And even if I only do one of these at my open house and there's a bunch of looky-loos passing by, I don't care because I got these suckers on the hook, right? And I'm gonna steal all their information and sell them a house. So I got this up and running, and this is, you guys, this is like seriously gold. And agents don't do this. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't. And I don't care that I'm telling all you guys this because statistically, probably only one of you are going to do this. So you should really do this, right? I mean, seriously, right? Like, I'm not like revealing my secrets to a bunch of people because, like, statistically, how many people actually follow through with what they learn?
1%.
Right. So, like, none of you. Great. Anyways, so I've got this search. So really important. I just showed them value, right? I showed them this house that just hit. Maybe show them Cherry Circle. It's in TNAS right now for some reason. I don't know why. TNAS. Probably, maybe it's being painted, or what does the agent remarks say? COVID, blah, blah, blah. Chris Jensen. Oh, speak of the devil. I was just talking about her. Anyways, so what I do is I say, well, what you guys need is you need this. And I said, you don't need to be looking at Zillow. You're missing out on things. It's very inaccurate. And I said, well, here, what I can do is I can send you this list, but actually better yet, I can just go ahead and I can send you like an auto email with these just in the Hudson School District on this criteria we just talked about. And I said, what I can do is, do you guys know how to do these? Set these auto emails up for people, right? If you don't, you should figure it out. So I'm doing it right now for you. I typed in my criteria. I didn't check anything. I didn't have to. And I click new auto email. Okay. And it's going to ask you for a contact. So I'm doing this all while they're in front of me. I'm like, okay, so what I can do is I can just at least send you this list, and I can even send it up to where it'll just email you maybe once a day, maybe twice a week. If something pops up, it'll let you know. So what I do is I go into create a new contact. All you need is their name and phone number, right? I'm like, oh, what's your first name? Mia, perfect. Doll, perfect. Mia Doll at hotmail.com, whatever it is. And I put it in here. You don't need their cell phone, right, to set this up, but they don't know that. So while I'm at this screen, I got Mia Doll at hotmail.com. And they're like, okay, and what's a good phone number for you? They just give it to you. They just give you their cell phone right there. I just got their name, their email, and their cell phone number, and they never even touched a pen. And I just got it, right? I'm showing them value. I'm capturing all their information. I don't categorize or title, whatever. So then I hit save. I better just do this so it works for you guys. Mia Doll, Mia at hotmail.com. Whatever, I spelled it wrong. So save. So then I go down and I do a subject. So I say, so I'm talking to them and I'm like, okay, perfect. And I was like, I'm gonna just put the subject, and I might do like Hudson listings or new Hudson listings, right? NEW, all caps, Hudson listings. And like, I want them to see it in their email and get excited, okay? So new Hudson listings, capitalize Hudson, and scroll down. Right here, you've got the daily and the ASAP option. So ASAP, if like 5 emails hit within their criteria, it's going to email them 5 times a day, and they might get too many. You can typically tell though, if they say, oh, we've been looking forever, everything's going fast, then maybe check the ASAP box, right? And if they have tough criteria, what did I do? Hudson School District under, did I do a price point on this slide? I did 400 and under. Okay, so odds are there's going to be 4 that hit in the next week. So they're not going to really be bombarded. If they're like, I'm looking in all of Washington County or all of St. Croix County under 800,000, you got to really narrow it down a little bit, because you want to show them that you have value. You don't want to have 90 options, because they're going to be like, well, what, can I just get those? You want to narrow it down, really find out their criteria, like How many bedrooms do you really need? Is acreage important? Stuff like that. You can put any criteria you want in, and then you can check daily. Sometimes I go in here and I uncheck, 3 of them, because I'm not sending them an email every day because I don't want them to get used to it and stop looking at them. Okay. And then hit save. Hopefully no one has that email address because they're going to get these. Anyways, so now if I go, so now I just set them up and I'm like, okay, perfect. So now that's great. I just set you guys up on this. This is gold. I tell them these houses you see that sell in a day with multiple offers, the people who got those multiple offers in on a day had this running for them and they had an agent representing them. I said they weren't strolling through Zillow, trash talk Zillow all you want. It's really inaccurate. It sucks. And most people are going to be like, yeah, you're right. It is really inaccurate, even though I don't know. So get this up and running, tell them this is gold. And then you don't have to tell them this, but when they activate it, it sends them an email. You get a message on your email saying Mia activated her search. So you're like, sweet. Sometimes you get it in 10 minutes, they're in their car. And they are and you're like, these people are serious. They just activated it. And then you can see when they favorite stuff and trash stuff. Did you guys know that, right? Some people, I don't know how much people know about these things. So if I go into my matrix auto emails, I can show you guys, I have a ton of auto emails running. So let's just look. Today alone, I had all these people looking. Yesterday, so just in the last 2 days, I've had over 15 or 20 people looking at my auto emails. You can see schedule, daily, ASAP, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's all dependent on the type of lead that they are and how motivated they are. Jonathan Townley really wants something in Hudson under 375. So let's just see if they've favorited anything. Results. I can see. Don't tell them that you can see this. I don't, because I don't want them to think I'm creeping on them, but I totally am. Okay, so he hasn't favorited anything, but typically it'll show a trash can here, right here, I think, or here. It'll show trash cans and hearts on the ones that they've hearted. So they'll be like, hey, I favorited 3 properties that we really want to go see. And I say, great, I'll go look into your system and I'll see which 3 you favorited, and I can just see it. They don't even have to give me the addresses. That's how I do it. And of course I bring up financing. It's like, oh, have you met with a lender? Because you can just get this set up. You don't have to dive into their throat with, are you pre-approved? How much money do you have? What's your social security number and your mom's maiden name, right? You don't need to do that. Just get this up and running. You're showing them value and then be like, oh, okay. So I'm assuming if you guys are looking, you probably already have talked with a lender, you know what you're pre-approved for, sometimes if they say no, then you can go into, well, I work with a handful of local lenders. I can get you in touch with Bell Bank, they're great, something like that. And then you can kind of give them the lending side, but also good opportunity for you to set the consult right now. If they're new buyers, right, you can set a buyer's consult. I just had one last night. So that's what I do. That's how I capture their information.
What do you say to get the appointment? What's your script?
Well, what I say is, I tell them, and I kind of pitch to them too, I work with a ton of first-time home buyers. It's really important to be working with somebody who can write a really competitive offer. And I say, I work with a ton of agents. I see how agents write offers. And I'll just tell them, if I'm in a multiple offer situation and there's 10 offers, I'm sure that I'm in the top 2. I'm not being cocky. I'm just being honest about how shitty all the other realtors are, right? They don't know how to fill out a contract. They don't know how to write a good offer, things like that. So if I'm writing an offer for a buyer and there's 10 offers, I know I'm in the top 2. It's true. I just am. And and it's not about being cocky. It's just that's how bad realtors are. So you need to work with somebody like me who can really represent you well in the market that we're in. Oh, you want to buy a home in Hudson for under $250,000? Good luck, right? You need an agent that knows what they're doing, not one that's going to fumble. If you wrote 12 offers for your buyers, you're doing something wrong. I've never had to do that before. I don't know what that's like because I'm honest with them, right? I don't sugarcoat anything. You guys probably noticed that already. So, I set the appointment and I say, what I do is I always sit down, I go through the process. I don't make you sign any paperwork. I just say, let's sit down. It's an hour. It's super casual. We just basically go through what it's like today to the day that you get your keys. It's easier, I think, to set consults, it's hard to do it in person because they're always like fumbling and they're like, oh, what's my schedule? And I have set a lot of consults at open houses that they then cancel because I think they kind of just do it, you know, because you're there and you're like, well, let's set an appointment to meet at my office or something. So you just tell them, like, I have a buyer's consult. I'm assuming you guys all have a buyer's consult that you do, or like I have a slideshow that I go through and I print it and everything like that. Lisa knows. Didn't we teach a buyer's consult class once
Yeah, you're
together?
probably using mine. Are you using mine?
No,
No.
I redid it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah, if anyone needs a copy, you can reach out to me and I can send it to you.
Your buyer's consult. Yeah, I sit them down and I print out a hard copy of the PowerPoint bound with their name on the cover. And then I say, take that home with you, but we're going to just focus on the screen and I go do the consult. And basically what I'm doing is I'm educating you on the whole process. I'm telling you, a lot of agents don't sit people down. Is somebody on the roof?
There's a quarry right down the street.
Oh, they're blowing
They're
bits.
blowing
Yep,
bits
yep,
up.
yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
also not good for a lot of the houses over here that had stucco because the quarry blows created a lot of stucco cracks and big issues with houses. And they tried suing back in the day and none of them won. So a bunch of people that had stucco problems or foundation problems just because the quarry blows and they all just SOL and had to deal with it. So anyways, little tidbit. But yeah, so, you know, your thing is you just want to really show them that you're passionate about what you're doing, that you're good. In my calendar until the end of time, in my Gmail calendar, it repeats open house, 10 to noon, every Saturday and Sunday. It never ends. Somebody asks you, what are you doing 8 Saturdays from now? You say, I have an open house from 10 to noon. After that, I'm free. Then I know I'm going there. I don't show up in a bad attitude because I'm there. It's not interfering with the plan that I made or something. And everybody I know, all my family and friends know that I have an open house from 10 to noon. So just put it in your calendar and let it repeat into oblivion. And then you'll know that's what you're doing. And it helps with your mindset too, because you're not like dragging yourself there. Or if you're at the bar the night before, you know, you got to stop after drink number 5 because you got to be there on time, right? So put it in your calendar, have it repeat, do as many as you can. Like I said, I pull up the results and I get this going and then I'm showing them value. And then you've got their information so you can text them right away. Be like, hey, it was so nice meeting you guys a couple hours ago at the open house. You know, let me know if you don't get the invite, even though you saw they already activated it, you can still play stupid. Text them, hey, did you get that MLS invite I sent you? You know they did because they already activated it. Did you know that there's a setting in the MLS where you can put that it notifies you every time somebody does something? My phone goes off like every 5 minutes. I get a text, but I love it. So every time I have like 40 people on these searches, every time somebody favorites something, I get a text. Every time. I probably get like literally 100 texts a day, but I know who's active and my phone, and I'm like, oh, Jonathan, he favorited 3 properties. I can see it on my phone because I don't want to go into that search every day and be like, who's looking? Because everybody might look, but I want to see the people that are actually favoriting things because I know that they're on the hunt. So I put my phone number in here. I don't remember how to do it. You can figure it out, but there's a way to set up push notifications on your phone for people that are favoriting things. And I did it. It was really annoying for the first week. I was like, oh, but now I just am used to it. My phone goes off left and right. And I just check it. Text tells you me and all favorited, you know, the house on 9th Street. And then you can keep an eye on it. So that's what I do. I keep in touch with people. And then of course, after you put them on the MLS, go back and put them into your database. Do you guys use like Top Producer or something like that?
No, Zillabot Top Producer. We use Command.
Okay, use Command.
Or Boomtown. Yeah.
Or Boomtown. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, put them into your CRM. Keep in touch with them. Try to get them in touch with the lender. You know, you're showing them value by getting them in touch with the lender too. A good lender, a local lender that's going to be able to benefit with them. You know, if they're a young couple that's lost, make sure it's a lender that's willing to sit down with them across from a table and actually go through options with them. Everybody thinks that we just need to do everything electronically now because it's 2021 and there's coronavirus in the air. Like some people still need to be sat down and talked to face because they're clueless, right? And if they don't have their hand held, they just won't do anything. So try to show them value. I guess that's kind of it. That's like what I do. And then, you know, after your open house, leave a card for the sellers, sometimes a handwritten card, or on the back of an MLS printout, just like this on the counter. Thanks for letting me have the open house. I had 5 groups through. It was great. Dylan, leave a card. Maybe they hate their listing agent, right? And you just had the open house for the listing agent. And they're like, oh, who's this rando that had my open house, left me this nice note. They're spending time on a Saturday while Mary Yakub's out, you know, doing God knows what. So maybe they're going to fire her and hire you. You never know, right? So, you know, leave a note, leave a handwritten note. I don't do that anymore, but I used to do it all the time. I leave a handwritten note for the sellers. Thanks so much, Dylan. I'll leave my card. What's the worst that could happen? They throw it away, they put their gum in your card, whatever. So leave the house exactly as you found it. I do leave my extra MLS printouts on the counter. They can chuck it if they want. Like I said, if the handouts were already there, then you don't have to do it. Make sure all the doors and windows are locked. It's common sense. We don't need to go into that. But people steal stuff, so make sure things are shut down. Make sure fireplaces are turned off. I blow my candle out typically like 20 minutes before it's over, and I set it in the fridge. I've left candles at houses in the fridge before. And I'm like, well, they're going to find that in a year and be like, who the hell put a candle in our fridge? But because I want the wax to harden, right? Because it's going to go in my bag and I'm going to be like chucking it into my car while I speed out of there. So I typically will blow my candle out 20 minutes too, put it in the fridge so the wax hardens. That's such a stupid thing, but it's little I do it so I don't have a mess in my car. Follow up with leads right away. Like I said, if you met somebody, you got them on the MLS, shoot them a text, shoot them an email, and be like, hey, it was great meeting you. Let me know if you get that search. And if you have any questions, I'm here. Stuff like that. What I tell people is you can't go in here and edit your criteria, but it's super easy for me to do because we don't have it where, you know, this is something that we set them up on. It's not like Zillow. They can't alter their criteria. Am I right? They can't go in and edit it. So tell them, hey, if you decide you talk this over, because at their open house and say, we need 3 bedrooms, we need 3. And I'm like, well, okay. Well, if after you guys go home and you talk about it and 2 bedrooms is okay, just let me know. Shoot me a text. It takes me a second. Make it seem like it's the simplest thing for you to just go back in and change the criteria. You know, but I always err on lesser, right? So if they say we need 4 bedrooms, just do 3. Because there's probably a non-conforming bedroom or there's a loft or agents are stupid and they think that you need a closet. You don't need a closet to count a bedroom. Look up the rules, people. So, you know, sometimes a 6-bedroom house is listed as a 4-bedroom because the listing agent thinks we can't count it. That's not true. Look at the Victorian houses, people. There's not a single closet in the whole damn house. That's true. A lot of people don't do justice. So same with garage stalls. I just sold a house going towards Menominee, longer than I want to admit that I drove, far past Hammond. And it was a house that was listed for $510,000. And my buyers found it and sent it to me. They're like, what's going on? How come this isn't in our search? I had them on this, you know, I told them this is gold. This is what you need. The agent listed like a 9-car garage house as a 2-car garage, over $500,000. How many people in Wisconsin are spending over $500,000 that don't have like 5 4-wheelers and a boat, right? They need more than a 2-car garage. So poor sellers hired some sucker agent who listed their house as a 2-bedroom, $500,000 plus on acreage. No one saw it. It wasn't in anybody's search results because the agent didn't list it correctly. There was a huge outbuilding with concrete floors. I could have fit 8 of my cars in there. I would have listed that thing as a 10-car garage all day long. Didn't do it. So you always want to err on, and some people say, I really want an acre. We need an acre. And it's always the young home buyers that think they need everything. It's like, you have no money. You have like $100,000 in student loans. Like, I'm not going to put acreage in here. So anyways, when you're putting in their criteria, put less on there because you want to show them more options, because odds are their criteria is really going to change throughout their home search, right? From day 1 to day 30, when they actually write a contract, they're going to be getting little doses of reality, right? Like, okay, maybe being able to shoot a buck from the bathtub isn't a goal, right? You know, stuff like that. So, but you know, that's just how first-time home buyers are. They want everything. So you really got to kind of guide them. You know, when I set up these searches and they say, oh, we don't want to spend more than $325. I'm like, well, agents don't know how to price houses. Let's just put it at $375 and less. Maybe something's on the market that's been there for 44 days for your street. Sorry if that's your listing, but you know, odds are it's overpriced. So, err on, because you want to show them more, especially with the criteria we have. We have no inventory. You want to show them stuff, you know, and try to sell them on River Falls. Some people are diehard Hudson. They think River Falls is so far away. It's freaking 10 minutes away. You get more for your money, right? School districts just as good. Maybe every other year their test scores out test Hudson, right? I think. I mean, they have great school districts. It's a great small town and it's 10 minutes away. People think, you know, people don't want to drive to River Falls, but they'll drive to like Holton and North Hudson where you have to hit 20 stoplights. I'm like, it's the same distance to get to River Falls. You know, people don't realize that. And River Falls is a great community. So I always try to broaden their horizons, you know, especially if they're new home buyers. So you got to give them a little dose of reality. But that's it. Text, email, call, send a card, put leads into the database, have another open house. That's what I do. And then I have
Can you
another.
just share some of the stories you have of how you like got a buyer through an open house and then you like sold their house and then like it created this like domino effect?
He just did.
Oh, you did that already?
Yeah, I
With
mean,
his order thing.
so again, like last
That
year,
Lots that connect to each other.
right, okay, so like last year, like I said, I started to do open houses with like no intent. And I was just like doing them to do them. And I felt like that's what I had to do as an agent. And it was like, I was counting it as 2 hours of lead gen, you know, but I was just like sipping my monster by the fireplace, not really caring, right? So it's like, okay, wait, I can't count that as lead gen. I'm just wasting my time and I'm wasting the seller's time if they got out. Like I need to be working and I need to be providing value to these people. So I kind of like re-changed my mindset, right? It's all about your mindset. And I mean, I'm always in a good mood, but I want to make sure I go into every open house with like, okay, car's pulling up. I'm gonna get them, right? I'm gonna get them on this MLS search. I've had open houses where I've set 3 people up on this MLS search and not a single person signed in. But I still got their name, their email, whatever. And odds are you're gonna get their real email, right? Because on the sheet, you're gonna get like Deborah at BrettFavreIsMyBoyfriend.org or something stupid, right? People put fake stuff down here all the time, right? Or like 8675309 for their phone number because they're just, oh, I gotta sign in. But this, it's pretty hard for them to lie. And if you're already at this point, you know they're probably legit. You're setting up the value. So, you know, you really want to move through these people too. If you're talking to somebody and it's like 3 gals and they're just out doing a wine tour and they saw your open house sign, push them aside, go to the next person. You don't want to get Deborah Johnson who bought a house with her husband and is going to live there for 30 more years, right? If there's someone else in the house, you want to push them aside and go to the next person because you're here to get a lead. You don't want to spend time talking to these ladies unless they're the only ones there, then, you know, wow, sure. But you want to get the appointment. You want to get people. Yeah. But yeah, so like that was like, this was one of them. That was like probably one of the major successes. I'm trying to think like the one on, that was the New Richmond one. The one, there was a $700,000 listing of ours and they came in and they called me back like a day or 2 later. And I was like, well,
Patrons? Was it patrons?
oh, that was another one. That's a good one. Forgot about that one. So yeah, but no, I'm talking about the whatever, I forgot their name. But they came, they called me back and they were like, yeah, we want to see that house again. It wasn't even my listing, you guys. It wasn't my listing. It was someone else's. It was like a $700,000 listing. I brought them back. They wrote, I'm pretty sure they wrote non-contingent because they had money. And then I listed their house for like 700. It was like 1.4 mil in volume right there, one open house. And they left. I didn't even have their information. They were somebody that I didn't get. I also shove my card down people's throats when they're leaving if I didn't get to them. Like, oh, here you go. I always run after them and I give them either the MLS printout that has my name or the business card or both. And I always am like, here you guys go. If you want to come back, let me know. I said, sellers are super flexible if you guys want to come back and check it out again. Because I want to make it seem like it's not a big deal if you call me and you want to look at it again. They always think they're bothering us, right? It's like, we work on commission, right? Like, bother me all you want. Like, if you want to text me at 2 a.m., I'll take it, you know? But seriously, so I'm always shoving my card down their throats because I want them to call me because I'm at the open house, especially if it's not my listing. I want them to call me. Patrons came through an open house in Pete Miller Farms, 800 maybe, it was an $800,000 Rambler. And I don't know how I got their information. Same situation, I think I talked with them. They called me back. They said, we want to show our daughter this house. So I said, oh, okay, perfect. So I got them back in. Again, wasn't my listing, you guys. And I showed them it. It wasn't the right house for them, but by then I had their information. So I kept in touch with them and I knew what they wanted. And I communicated with other agents about what I was looking for. I do that all the time, weekly, right? We sit down and Wade, who I work with, is like, what do you need? What are your buyers looking for? So that's what I did. And he said, I've got this Rambler coming up. So I called these patrons, that's their last name. And they lived on the river, on the St. Croix River, and they wanted a Rambler to retire in. And I said, hey, I've got this Rambler coming up. It's awesome. They're like, yeah, I don't know. They didn't look at it, and it sat on the market for like 2 weeks. And they reached back up. They're like, actually, we would like to look at it. They bought it, maybe with cash. No, I think they did financing. But it was like, what was that Rambler priced at? 800,000, 700 something.
Yeah.
They bought it non-contingent. I listed their river house for 900 some thousand. Sold that. That was last year.
Mhm.
That was from an open house. Like, that's crazy. Like, I was there for 2 hours, you know, and I didn't even get their information. I just made that good of an impression on them and made sure they had my number when they left. They had my card when they were going. Who cares if they put their gum in it? At least you gave it to them, you know? That was last year. That was 1.4, no, that was over one. That was like 1.6 million in volume from one open house. Imagine-
How much is your commission on those 2 transactions?
Well, 3.3 on the listing, 2.7 on
Yeah, right.
the buy.
3.3 on the list, 2.7, maybe, I don't know, 25 grand, who knows?
Oh my God, it's way more than that.
I don't know, whatever, who knows? But I mean, once you have like a 2-hour open house to make 25 grand, like, holy shit. Imagine if you did that every weekend. Imagine if you did that twice a weekend. Pretty crazy. Like, it works if you work. Works if you have the right mindset. Works if you have the attitude. Like this lady who I was door knocking, I forget her name. I probably shouldn't say it because she's probably working out of here now. But she was like, oh, I don't even have open houses. They don't work, right? She was like, I don't even have open houses because they don't work. And I was like, oh, God, it would. She's not a KW agent, but I was like, that would suck to hire you to sell my house. And you're like, ugh, open houses don't work. As I'm casually like the next day getting like almost 2 mil in volume from an open house. And I sold this one to somebody who came through the open, and I double bagged this one to somebody who came through the open. And this lady's like, oh, open houses don't work. And I'm like, who are you even? You're a realtor? What's your name? You know? So seriously,
Yeah.
it's all about mindset. I have it in my calendar. Anytime someone is like, what are you doing 2 weekends from now on Saturday? I say, oh, I have an open house. I don't know where yet, but I'm going to have it. You know, I cross over. I even do them for people from other brokerages sometimes. Some brokers are okay with it, some aren't. I'm not a Keller Williams agent, but last year I know for a fact I had a few open houses at Keller Williams listings. Some brokerages don't want that. They don't like it, but it is what it is. So reach out to all the agents in your office. Odds are half of them are super lazy and don't want to have an open house. So you can have it, especially if it's vacant. So just have opens. The more you do, the better you get at it, the more confident you'll be. Casually talking to somebody while you set them up on the MLS, like once you do your first one, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was sweet. Like, how awesome, right? It's so cool. But that's what I do. That's what I do. And I get really good business from it. It works, you know, even if it's not a great price point, you know, have opens. Odds are half of the agents in here that are listing something aren't going to have the open because they're expecting it to sell really fast. So hit it the next day, even though that's not maybe quite enough time for it to syndicate out to Zillow. I think it goes pretty fast now. For, you know, it used to take days for things to update on Zillow. Sometimes it still does take days. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes and it's updated on Zillow. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know how they choose what does and doesn't get approved, but
Do you guys
Yeah.
have any questions for Dylan? You wanna ask him anything? Do you typically follow them around or you kind of let them do their own thing? Or you just feel them out?
nope, I chill in the kitchen.
Do you?
Yep.
Because you can tell. Some people are like, oh my God, don't be in my bubble, don't just.
Well, I'm just like, that's how I am when I show houses too. I'm not like, this is the kitchen, right? I'm like, go look at it, right? Like, I'll be here. So, you know, I'll walk through the house with them, but I let them kind of lead the way, especially if it's vacant and there might be a squatter in the basement. I don't want to get stabbed. Go down, you know? So,
Check it out.
yeah, like head on down. Lisa once was looking at a vacant house and called me and she said, hey, what are you doing? I'm really scared. I'm at this house and I want to look at it. Can you come and meet me? And I had to go downstairs first. That was creepy.
Dylan and I used to work on the same real estate team.
Yeah, so
We started
Lisa,
real estate together.
yeah, we did, yeah. 10 years
years
ago,
ago.
probably, is when I was getting into it.
We were just babies.
Yeah. I was fortunate. I got into the business when I didn't need to. I was a drunk college kid and I just was like doing it. You know what I mean? And I was like, God, as a drunk college kid, I'm selling more real estate than most full-time realtors are. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, like this is crazy. I graduated, threw it all in the garbage and kept selling real estate. But yeah, Lisa taught me everything I know. Lisa's great. She's a great mentor. So if you have questions, don't call me, call Lisa. She's great. She really is. She's awesome. She's the one who taught me all about like my buyer's consult. I remember sitting with her. We had this little windowless office, like right over here.
Where Barb is.
Yeah, it's just this dark pit. And like, I remember sitting next to her and she went through the slideshow with me and I was like taking notes, like, oh my God. And now I can give a buyer's presentation like it was nothing. You know, even this open house class, I didn't have to study to do it because I have open houses every weekend. I just told you what I did. It's like easy. I just memorize it all, you know? What was that question? Did I answer it? Did you ask me a question? I don't even know.
Yeah, we cleared it.
Yeah.
So-
Walking to the house.
Oh yeah, it's a safety thing. Some females have a pair of men's shoes, a big pair of men's shoes, and they might set it on the rug because they're worried about getting mugged or something. So I have a conceal and carry, but you know, you can have men's shoes on the rug if you want. I mean, I've never been scared at an open house, but some people could be. And some people have a lender there for security reasons, you know. I don't know. Realtors get killed, so just be on the lookout. I mean,
End on that note.
it's true. It's true.
Ending.
Can you
Yeah.
have a round of applause?
Yeah. And if you haven't gone to tour this house on East Street, you guys got to go look at it.
Which one is it?
You have to show it.
Which one?
You just had it in Johnson's search.
Yeah. Oh, I did?
Yeah. There it is. Towards the bottom.
Oh, God.
9th Street.
Yeah.
This one?
Yes.
Just wait. 350.
You've been in it?
Panel galore.
Did you turn on all the lights?
Look at the list price.
And the sellers are
315.
like.
315. Hang on.
Yeah,
Dead
315.
set at that
Oh.
price. Look at it.
Okay, so there's like iron horse heads on the things
So
and
cool.
the and
gets
like
better.
built-ins and like these like jail bar things. And there's like a saloon swinging, these
Mirrors.
mirror accents with wallpaper. This is up there. Here's that horse head. There's a few horse heads, another horse head. And then there's these little these night lights on the railing that light up at night. There's like these glass globes. It's the craziest house, solid wood, you know. There's like an office. I mean, the guy must have been a woodworker back then. I don't know what he just cut things and placed them in. This is an office. Looks like a jail cell, but it's like a little desk area. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Carpet in the kitchen.
Carpet in the kitchen.
Oh,
The porch is actually super nice, you guys. It is nice. They have the towel bars labeled his and hers, just in case. There's no shower. There's no shower. No shower. Yeah, you gotta bucket it.
There's only one bed.
Yeah, one bathroom and you gotta bucket it. Yeah, it's interesting. Upstairs, it's got like, oh, his and hers on the closets again, just in case. And it's got like floors that look like an old like church hall basement, like the tiles, you know,
yeah.
probably full of asbestos. Same with the ceiling. Oh God, who knows? It's old.
What should it be priced at, Dylan?
Not for
200. Not even.
It's an estate, so children get greedy. I think I wouldn't pay more than. I wouldn't pay more than $275 for it.
275.
It's got a nice lot. It's got a nice
nice.
oversized garage. It's a nice location. The basement's super clean. But if anything, the basement's awesome. Like, look at this. It's really clean. It's really dry. There's like 12 little mini sheds on the property for some reason. But
You should.
Who is the listing agent?
I think it's Bob Schneider.
nope, it's I know him.
1978.
Oh, that's why.
Jay Fletch. Yeah, I wrote an offer on it for $321.
You did?
Mhm.
You didn't get it?
We backed out after we looked at it again because I was like, yeah, I told the buyer, I was like, because there was another offer.
Yeah, he
As
said
it's-
they turned down one at 305 because we threw him a cash offer at 265 and they turned us down. It's like, just let you know, we turned one down at 305, so how
Well,
can we send this back to
That's where I'm on the
Victor's,
price. thing.
It's been vacant, I think, for like 2 years. So they're obviously not in a hurry,
No.
you know? But yeah, it's been vacant for a while, but 315, good luck. I told my buyer, I was like, I don't want you calling me in 5 years. You're gonna cry when I tell you that you lost 75 grand.
Yeah.
She said she's gonna have to stick at least 25 into it. I was like, this house is never gonna be worth more than
way
that.
more than that.
Yeah, so I kind of talked her out of it because I was just like, but, and then they came crawling back to us. And it was like, ship has sailed, buddy. But yeah, estates are tough because it's 4 kids, you know, sometimes one kid thinks it's worth more. Yeah, they're being greedy, but it is what it is. Some people aren't in a hurry to sell, so they just, it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard and they want to list it high.
There you go.
Don't overprice your listings.
Awesome. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, that's
That
it.
was awesome. Thank you for your time.
Learn, do it, keep having open houses, be
Good
confident, act, fake it till you make it, right? I had to start here. I knew nobody. I didn't know the difference between Robert, Hammond, and Baldwin.
Yeah.
I was like, what's one's which? I never knew which came first. Until my friend told me her dad's name was Robert Hammond, Jen Hammond, Gillard, and he was balding. So she always said, Robert Hammond is balding. So then I was like, okay, that's how it goes. Because I never knew, right? So seriously, just people don't know that you're faking it. Just act confident and, you know, keep doing it till you figure it out.
Good information.